Hello, this is a message to all the people that are considering voting for Donald Trump for president. I, I'm asking that you just set aside things for right now and be objective. Now, when we think of the qualities a president should have, at least in my mind, and I think in a lot of leadership publications, leadership ways of thinking, we would want the president to have integrity. We would want the president to have a calm presence to allay fears within the country. We would want the president to have a good understanding of the world. We would want the president to heal the nation in times of grief. We would want the president to be a good communicator. We would want the president to have a vision. We would want the president to be selfless. And we would want the president to be open-minded. Okay, now, back to the first one, integrity. How many lies has Donald Trump said and continues to say? The most recent one is about Kamala Harris let people drown and die by withholding aid and any kind of support from the hurricanes when FEMA has been down there and federal, state, local, and nonprofit agencies have been down there almost from the very beginning. Okay, that was outrageous for him to make that lie. Then the other one about eating dogs and chickens at the same time that the officials from Springfield, Ohio were saying they're not eating dogs and cats. They're not eating dogs and cats. We have no reports of that. What's all this talk about? That's a serious breach of integrity, all those things there. Now, in my studies of war, Sun Tzu said, where there is no trust, there is nothing. If you can't trust somewhere, there's just nothing there. There's nothing to grab onto. And his continual, frequent breaches of integrity really should put a question mark in people's minds on whether they should vote for him. Calm presence. He goes off the rails. Now, did Biden go off the rails? Did Clinton go off the rails? Did any of the Bushes go off the rails? Did Reagan go off the rails? No. Yet Trump, he can go berserk. Good understanding of the world. I recently heard that when Puerto Rico got hit by a hurricane, that he didn't want to give aid to them because they're not part of the United States. And his aides had a tough time convincing him that, yes, Puerto Rico is part of the United States. It's not a state, it's a territory. But they are ours. So we need to take care of them. The other thing is, his idea of pulling out of NATO. That is bad business, okay? It takes the United States and all of Europe to counterbalance the threat from Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, all right? So we got to stay with them, and they have got to stay with us, okay? It is bad to say that he will pull out of NATO. Bad. Oof. Caring. Does he really care about people? Really? All the things he said about our veterans, they're losers, they're not heroes because they got killed, all that nonsense. And the fact that he sabotaged a law, apparently mostly, if not entirely, written by Republicans to help fix the border, so that this immigration crisis would not end, maybe, but certainly stem the problem, okay? But to pick up political points, and I hate to use that word, but it is for that purpose. He told the Republicans, do not approve this bill. Biden was going to sign it. The Republicans were were for it. It would have done a great job with the border, and yet no, he said stop it. And that way he could continue attacking Biden and Kamala now for their failed border policies. Okay? And all this stuff that Kamala enacted this law, and Kamala withheld money, and Kamala did this. Wait a minute. She wasn't the president. It's another failed understanding of his part. And he was president. How many bills did Pence sign when Trump was in office? How much money did Pence withhold when Trump was in office? None, 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 because that's not their job. They got two jobs. One, to be there if the president becomes incapacitated or killed, and the other one is to chair the Senate and break ties. Okay, there's no Pence signature on any bill, and there was no Kamala signature on any bill unless when Biden was in the hospital for a 2-hour operation or something that she was president for a couple of minutes and she might have signed something. Okay. This ay. And again, understanding of the world. He keeps blaming Biden and Kamala for inflation. Now, again, I've admitted in the past I don't understand as much about inflation. I don't understand economics as maybe I should. But I know that raising tariffs on goods will increase prices, which is inflation. So, and he wants to put tariffs on goods. Okay. Now that's fine if we can make the goods in the country instead. But that's not going to be the case. Not on at least everything. Okay. But also, like when that ship hit the bridge in Baltimore, that stopped the flow of goods for how long? That had to have raised prices. There's a lot of climate disasters all over the place. There's typhoons destroying, doing bad things to countries in the Pacific where a lot of our goods are made. When those places get destroyed or shut down, prices go short and prices go up. Same thing in Europe. Europe has been hammered by floods, just like in our own country. That had to have affect businesses' abilities to produce goods and to ship them. So again, if they aren't shipped or whatever, prices will go up. So the president, I'm busy. Hold on, please. I'll call you. So when so the president can help influence monetary policy, but he can't control the effects of all these climate issues. Healing to the nation. Has Trump really healed the nation in times of our grief at all? Or does he stick things in there as he's talking to us about a crisis? He puts digs in there about people and other entities. Good communicators. The way Trump rambles on and switches topics even within the same 10 sentence. Is he really a good communicator? A vision. Now, I'll give this to him. He had the vision of constructing the border wall. He had that vision. I give him that. And I don't know exactly why it didn't all go through. Although, to be frank, the wall was easily circumvented despite all the research put into it. Even in the military, no obstacle is good unless it's observed. Okay? So that wall, as good as it was, if it's not observed, people will dig under it or they'll catapult over it or whatever they were doing. But, you can't have eyes everywhere. Okay. But he did have that vision. I give that to him. And he did go to North Korea and he met with Kim Jong Un. And I had, he had that bravery to. I have to give. I give it both ways. People don't like that about me. I'm supposed to only give the good, only the good, only the good. No, you have to have a balanced approach when you're talking about things and people. Okay. Selfless. Again, selfless. Caring. He blocked the border wall deal, the border law that would have helped the country to boost his own chances of winning the election by blaming the incumbent leadership, Biden, Kamala, for not doing anything about the wall. Now, that is certainly not selfless right there. And open minded. You know, you've got to put aside all your present thoughts and remember how Hitler got his people riled up. He blamed the Jews for everything. It's the Jews. It's the Jews. They're all our problems, all of them. If we could just get all the Jews out of our country, get all the Jew business out. They're stealing our money. They're taking everything. The Jews, Jews, Jews. He wants Trump, blame immigrants. Everything, everything. We are a nation of immigrants. And yes, they're flowing too quickly into our country. They're not getting socialized. But it began that border law that he blocked would have helped. And yes, even from my own military studies, I learned that one of the signs of a failed state is the inability to control its borders. And yes, we've got to control the borders. Even within my own family, they disagree with me on that, but we've got to control our borders. So he had that vision. But to just constantly blame the immigrants and accuse them of eating cats and dogs and all this stuff, it's just wrong. It's okay. So I've said enough. Please think. I don't know that anything I said can truly be challenged. So please think about that when you want to vote. Now, on the flip side, Kamala is calm. I believe she can heal the nation. I believe she has integrity. I believe she has a good understanding of the world. As vice president, she traveled all over the place. She is a good communicator. I'm not so sure about any kind of vision. I believe she is selfless. I believe when she's wrong, she'll admit it. I believe if someone does something, she will give them credit for it. And I believe she's open minded. Okay, so when you, to me, and however, again, I have to say both ways all the time, and I get criticized for that. I do believe they're just giving too much, too many handouts, okay, on the college loan debt. Those students, they were supposed to research the feasibility of getting those degrees. And they were supposed to research their ability to pay back loans by choosing what colleges to go to. So if they went to an expensive college that got them a worthless degree, it's not my problem. Just like, if my neighbor buys an expensive car and they can't afford the insurance, they can't afford the gas bill, they can't afford the maintenance, that's not my problem. So I gotta see both ways. But in the end, though, I don't think I don't think Donald Trump will make a good president, and I believe Kamala will make a much better president. Maybe not great, I don't know, but much better than him. Thank you.